I spent 15 years in the Philippines in various situations. In situations where you had huge migration. And then my second term in the Philippines was on an island off the coast which had a first world standard of living in 1870. But then a volcano came up out of the end of the island and people started to migrate and continue to migrate right up to the present. So all you had in Camagin Island were grandparents, parents and children. So it was very much like any town in the west of Ireland where people had simply left to go overseas to find a better life.
Our life, to be honest, the life was absolutely great. Like I was an ordinary Syrian guy, Syrian person who went to college, university. I studied law back home, and nearly 11 years ago, I came to Ireland and started a new life. Like because what happened, and then when I came here, so I had to forget about my degree back home in Syria and everything. The reason is because when you don't have the language, when you don't have the let's say the skills, you have to start from the scratch. Like people were in their normal jobs, and I would say nearly 78% of Syrian people were working. They have commitment with their work, and like many of them were solicitors, like engineers and doctors. Irish people, to be honest, majority of them open their arms. They don't have any issues with you. So since you are working hard, since you are managing your business, since you are minding yourself, and you are not a troublemaker, so in this case, Irish people love you. Why you are? What happened? You are contributing to the economy, to the country. Wherever you go, you will find some people always abusing the system. So in this case, the reaction of Irish people is different. And the main things I always tell, since I am interpreting for Syrian refugees and Kurdish refugees, I always tell them the most important thing is to learn the language. When you know the language, so then you will be able to integrate with the society. You will be able to communicate with Irish people, to express yourself, to understand their culture. This is the most important thing.
4 or 5 of our priests had been expelled from China in 1951 or 52. And when they started the immigrant chaplaincy in Britain, these 4 guys slotted in there and began to work. And then people from the diocese throughout Ireland came to work with the Irish in Britain. And they basically met the needs, which were homelessness, isolation, culture shock, and also you had the difficulty of coping with grief and loss. People coming from a rural area in Ireland, for example, all of a sudden land in Birmingham or London or someplace, and the discomfort of the unfamiliar. But the important thing was, and it still is today, to enable people, immigrants, to relate to the signs and symbols for them in a new place that are soul warming. These signs, and we all need signs and symbols that we can relate to. When I came back from Jamaica, I talked to a few people, and we decided to set up an agency which would have objective information in relation to coming to Ireland, migrating into Ireland, living here, working here, and contributing to and benefit from the economy. That was the reason we set up MRCI, was to enable people who come here to have the objective information needed, and also to have a spirit of welcome. Because right down through history from the Bible, welcome is one of the most important words that are used in any situation in society. Because when we say to people you're welcome, what we mean is you're safe, and that's the important thing. So people started coming in from various parts of the world into work in Ireland, and we set up specifically to deal with economic migration, because asylum and refugee issues are humanitarian migration and has different set of legislation and different procedures, whereas economic migration is different. People are coming to work in the economy to contribute to and to benefit from it.
This kind of organization showing the society that these people can do better. So only they needed a hand, they needed to be land in a safe place, and then they will work hard.
My brother set up the Scoop Foundation 10 years ago. This is our 10th anniversary, and I was always just working with him part-time. I was working in social care and special needs education. But then after the war in Syria broke out and just watching the rise of the Islamic State, I just knew I had to get involved. I'd been to Iraq and Syria before, loved the place, loved the people, so I just couldn't sleep at night watching what was going on, so that's when the Scoop Foundation got involved. The deal was that if you were going in through the channels that I went through, you had to stay for 6 months. So the first couple of months were not a lot going on, and the Kurdish Red Crescent, they just developed their rescue service. And then I think come April there was a massive firefight in the city between the Kurdish forces and regime troops, and after that it was just absolute madness for the next couple of months. It just got worse steadily every month that I was there. Most people I meet, they don't want to come to Ireland, they want to come to Germany or Holland, places where there's large communities of their own people. Because with the Yazidi that we work with in northern Iraq, they're very particular, they don't marry outside of their tribe. There's 4 castes within the tribe and they don't even marry within their castes. So of course they're very interested on what Ireland is, and I've been showing them hurling and Michael Flatley and everything else. But yeah, no, they're very, very interested in the world around them, what's going on over here. The media can be kind of twisted to suit whoever's funding it. So when I was there, I didn't have an agenda, I just wanted to show people what it was like. So I'd wake up in the morning, there'd be an airstrike happening, 2 kilometers away, so I just put my phone in my window, and I wasn't turning it around, I was just had it fixed on a building, facing my building, and you could hear the bombs going off in the distance. You could hear birds chirping, flying around. You could see kids in the distance playing football, just to show people how real and surreal that it is. Ireland, we've only taken half of the amount of refugees that we promised we would take. I don't think that they've set up appropriate structures for these people coming here. A lot of them just end up in direct provision. I know an Iraqi kid who walked to Holland by himself. He's 15, but now he's in Holland, so he's able to avail of training, education, whereas here they end up in direct provision, which is totally the opposite.
So I've lived here all my life, really. I came home when I was 13 from the UK. My father's from Roscommon, my mother's from Cork. So I would have gone to school in Ballahadreen. I spent some time in London and came back, so Ballahadreen is my home place. So in 2017, we heard that the refugees were arriving. There's an old hotel in Ballahadreen that's been closed for 7 years. And I was thrilled because I've been working with refugees in various capacities the last 20 years through music. So refugee support and asylum seeker, and I'm very anti-direct provision, so that would have been something that I've been working on for years. With the refugees coming to Ballahadreen, I've done loads of radio interviews and we've done a few television things, and the amount of people who say, you're not even Irish, you're not Irish, and where are you from? And that's really frustrating because people say to me, well, where are you really from? And I'm so Irish, it's in every cell of my body. We would come home in the summertime when we were kids. We lived in Birmingham, and we lived in Birmingham at the time of the Birmingham bombings. So my parents would have experienced extreme racism and fear in that time. And we were always aware of that as kids as well. So we would come home every summer to my parents' farm, and we would come home specifically to work. We would do the hay and the turf and the barley. And when we would go back to the UK, I would dream of the smell of the hedgerows in my grandparents' house. So when people question, when they hear this accent and they question, you're not Irish, who are you? For me, I find that so interesting how we define people. We define people and we make judgments about them, who they are.
My name is Mohammed Al-Abrash. I'm coming with my family from Lebanon. We are from Syria because in Syria it's a big war. Or بلبنان كان عندي كافي شوب صغير ما عايش فيه، كنت عايش بشقة. بدي أقول له إنه أنا كنت أكره العنصرية تبعيتهم. وجيت لهون لأنه على أساس إنه هون بلد ديمقراطي، وأنا أكيد أي إنسان بيتمنى يعيش ببلاد ديمقراطية. هلا صحيح الديمقراطية يمكن لها كذا شكل، وخاصة بمفهومي أنا، يعني الديمقراطية مو بس إنه والله بحق لي أعبر أو بحق لي كذا. الديمقراطية بحق لي نفذه اللي أنا عم أعمله، مو شرط إنه أنا أطلب لحتى يكون في ديمقراطية بالموضوع. بلبنان في عنصرية كتير، أنا بكره العنصرية بشكل مو طبيعي. طلعت من سوريا بسبب الحرب، ولأنه أنا مطلوب على الجيش، وأنا ما بدي روح إنه يكون سبب بقتل حدا أو بموت حدا، ولا بدي انقتل روح هيك، يعني ما أعرف ليش انقتلت. هاي كانت صعبة علي، ما قدرت أتحمل، يعني تركت كل شيء. أنا انمسكت مرة، نمت 12 يوم بالحبس، كانوا أصعب أيام حياتي. يعني حطيت مصاري هونيك، طبعا بيشتغل كل شيء بسوريا بالرشوة بينحل، وخاصة بالحرب.
Well, with direct provision, you know, people who are gunning for jobs under 30 grand a year, they can't go for them. You know, these people are skilled people. You know, they know, you know, they're doctors, they're teachers, they're IT experts. You know, that they're useful people. So, you know, and they want to work. So let's just put them to work.
The refugees that I've met are very, I mean, really, they're so open and they're so. They really, I mean, especially the men. I love chatting to the elderly men or the older men, because they want to have conversations and they want to talk to people, and they really enjoy engaging with people. And so the stories are out. There's lots of groups doing really good work. The stories are out there. I just think, what changes people's minds, I don't know, around refugees. I think meeting them, even hearing a story, you know, on a documentary, I don't think that's going to be as profound and effective as one would hope. I think you've got to physically meet a human being and be willing to see that person.
When we get to know people on a one-to-one basis, then on a one-to-one level, we break down the stereotypes and we see them as human beings, just similar to ourselves. So even to help people to stand up for their rights and to seek legal aid, to seek a better way for life. So that's part and parcel of the work of what the Columbans are called to do, and it's part and parcel of the work of the Migrant Centre in Dublin. And I think to refugees, you know, nobody chooses to become a refugee. It's forced upon them. And often it's a journey from a disaster to maybe a journey of hope and new life.